What is going on, guys? This is Versatile Gaming with my review of Log Horizon episode 18. And this episode, it was definitely simple, but at the same time it was very good. I'm definitely liking how they are building up to this war between the goblins, because I could just tell there's going to be a very good battle, and I cannot wait to see these adventurers, because I'm pretty sure we are definitely going to see some new things that we have not seen yet, because they have all of these goblins to fight. I'm pretty sure that they'll definitely bring out some new moves or techniques or spells that we have yet to see for some of these characters. So of course the episode starts off with our gang here. They're arriving in Akirahara, and of course you got the princess. She's like looking around and she's just taking in the scenery, and it's so different to what she's used to, because of course she had never seen a world like this before, so this is all new to her. And so now we have Krusty. He actually had to go back to his guild, so he left the princess and Shiro and Akatsuki hands, and he actually go to the I forgot his name, but I believe that he's the leader of like the Lucky Street. I'm not sure if that right there was like the name of a guild or not. No, it was called the Shopping Street 8. Yeah, Kawashin. They actually, take the princess to him because they want to get her out these fancy clothes into something more relatable to the adventurers. So while Shiro and Kawashin was like dealing with that, we have these kids here who actually came and they were like, check out the princess, because of course this right here was the first time for any of these people to actually see a real princess. So of course now they were definitely interested in her. And so these kids, they actually get her attention before going to her, and they actually have this crescent moon burger for her. And you can just see that she like definitely likes it, and she even eats in this fancy way. But we see that she actually messes up, and she like drops the burger onto her dress. But luckily Shiro has some like new clothes for her. But it was kind of weird though, like the way that they made Shiro look when he was like standing behind her, because you could just see like this darkness around his eyes, and the glasses were like shining. So it was just so weird how they did that for that scene. I'm not sure if that right there was trying to like hit something or what, but it was just really odd. But Akatsuki, helps her change into this armor, and she was saying that, it kind of, showed up her body too well, but Akatsuki was like, she just had to deal with it. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure Akatsuki was like feeling some kind of jealousy or something toward her, because she just seemed rather cold to the princess, and I'm not sure why. But after she had changed into this armor, we have Krusty here and Shiro. They have gathered all these adventurers so that the princess can talk to them. And of course at first she was nervous, but luckily she actually went up there, and we know that after Shiro had told them what's going on about these goblins, and about how they really don't have to help them if they don't care about these people. But luckily, these adventurers, they like just stood there rather than them being selfish and them leaving. But we have the princess who actually came up, and you could tell that she was so nervous, but she actually got up there and she talked, and her words actually inspired them. Now it was nice how she did not hold back at all, because she was saying how the people of the land, they were actually going to force these adventurers, to possibly fight for them. But she was so impressed about how smart they were, that she was questioning everything. Like she was asking, what is a noble, what is an adventurer, all the other things, because these people are definitely smart, because the adventurers, they can like read maps and all the other stuff, while I'm guessing that these people of the land really can't. So it goes to show you that of course the adventurers, they're real players, so of course they're like more advanced, but now the people of the land, they are now realizing this, so it all makes sense. But her words, they like definitely reached them. You can just see that they were all so motivated to help her, and they were like, even like every adventurer, they were all kind of like in sync. And so now she got all their support, and that right there, which is amazing. And so of course we're gonna have Krusty here lead this army of adventurers that are gonna fight these goblins, and you have Shiro here who's gonna think of a strategy. So now this war is definitely going to be good, because you have two of the most important characters that we have seen so far taking stand and charging right into the goblins. So that right there is definitely going to be awesome. And so of course now we have what's his name? He's the member of the council that got left behind. Michitaka. Not sure if I'm saying his name right, but you all know who he is. He was like walking around and he spotted Sojiro, who was like surrounded by girls. And this guy, he just has all the luck because it's like it's like all the girls in the world just like love this guy, and even the members who I came with them, they were all getting jealous. Especially one girl, she was like fuming with like jealousy, and it was just hilarious. But luckily, he had calmed everybody down, and they're now getting along. But Michika was saying that he was hoping that he could be there because Shiro and them, they're actually going to use this like steamship that he made. So of course he would want to see his creation into work. But this steamship, it actually looked pretty cool, and it's definitely awesome how they like basically invented this in the world, because that right there was just amazing. So now Shiro is definitely coming up with a plan, and now we see our other adventurers here like Marie. Who was it? Marie, Minori, Rudy. Those guys. They're all reunited, and they're actually going to protect this city. And I do wonder, what is going on with like Ijisu, because it's like she knows something about Rudy, but she's like keeping it to herself. And that right there, I really want to know what it is, because it's kind of like driving me crazy that I have no idea. Like what is this huge secret with these two characters? And from the opening, I would imagine that something's going to happen, but I'm not really that worried, because if he is an adventurer, then everything should be fine. So I'm not really sure, if that foreshadowing something important or what. But I'm definitely wondering, like, whatever she knows, when would that come to the light? Because it is kind of like driving me crazy that I have no idea what it is just yet. But now they're all going to stay there to protect that city. And I do wonder if if Natsugo and Nayata, well, they stay there as well, because these goblins definitely aren't tough. And if Maria actually fights, because she's the character that was seen in action for so long now, we have seen mostly everybody important in her guild fight except for her and Hironetta. So I really want to see what Maria can do. You're like a level 90 player, and you're the leader of a guild, so why aren't you fighting? It just kind of drives me mad that we have not seen her do action or anything rather important just yet. But then we go back to the steamship where they were traveling around, and you have the princess here who was like waving at her people, and we have Krusty who had approached her, and he was saying that she looked tired and miserable, and even though she was denying it was definitely true. But luckily she had no regrets. She actually came to this new place. She was able to convince these people, so even though she might been miserable doing this, at least she got her message out. So that right there was really good. I'm definitely liking this like relationship between Krusty and the princess, and I am glad that they are showing it rather than like skipping over it and possibly focusing on like Shiro and Minori or Shiro and Akatsuki. I'm glad that they are like ignoring the other characters that they have, because I do feel like Krusty and the princess, their bond, these like ties that they have together now, I feel like it's very important, and it should be shown all the time like this. So I'm definitely glad that they are going this route. But we have this girl here who I feel like is Krusty's right hand man, or woman I should say, and she was saying their plan, and how they have like 29 people here, but they're gonna split them up into groups of 24. And so, of course, if they fall as one big group, then that right there would just be too much of a mess, and there'll be no real communication. But luckily, by doing this, because I believe they call this strategy like a legion raid. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I believe that's what she called it. But she also said that this princess here, she'll have 12 guards to herself, but as long as she does nothing reckless, everything will be fine. But of course we have Krusty here going over this plan with his men, and the way that he looked at the end, where he said kill all the goblins, it was just so freaking dark. Now I'm not sure if I'll make that picture right there, the thumbnail, or the main picture for the video, but it's just like to me that one scene right there, like the darkness of it. It was just so impactful. But at least now we'll finally see this war break out in the next episode, which I'm really excited for, because you can just tell that this right here is going to be our climax of the series, because there won't be a huge war between the people of the land and the adventurers, but they'll all unite together to take on these goblins. And also, I almost forgot to mention this, but you know, what's his name? That guy, Michitaka. He actually had this meeting with the king. I almost forgot about this, and the king was now apologizing to him about wanting to make them, you know, wanting to give them a noble title, because that right there was like almost insulting and was very rude. But he was saying how some of these lords here, they were actually worried about the princess and the adventurers, you know, possibly plotting against them so that they could like, so that maybe, you know, they could take over. So they were like definitely worried about that. But I am glad that this king, he is still being logical and he actually wants to work with these adventurers. But of course, because this guy Michitaka is not, you know, the brains here, he can't really come up with a plan. So he was saying that right now there's no point in worrying about that. But when Shiro comes back, then that way they can finally come out on equal terms. But I did feel bad for the princess though, because even though she's doing all of this, she actually, you know, doesn't have any political power because she is a woman. If she was a boy or a guy, then she could definitely, you know, help them out. Because even though she does want to protect the adventurer's freedom, she might not have the power to do so. But I feel that after the war is over, then she might actually become queen. I'm not saying that the king here will die or something, but it's possible he might step down. Because right now, the princess and Krusty, these two characters are kind of like the bridge that would bring everybody together. So with her as the princess, I guess I can see things, you know, like staying or becoming even better than they are now. Because clearly we see these sides working together, and it could only go up from here. I really hope that things won't go down, because I am liking the way that this series is going so far. But like I said, this episode, it was very simple, but it was definitely good. I am glad that we are getting this like story building rather than like rushing into the war. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe. I would love to hear what you guys thought about this. But like I said, I really was digging this episode. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.